So, you drive a Chevy Silverado, huh? Of course you do. If you're not Team Ford, you're Team Chevy, and you wear that bow tie like a badge of honor. Before you scroll, hit like if you've ever argued towing numbers at a barbecue, and drop a comment if a stranger has ever said, "Nice truck," at a gas station. You felt taller immediately, didn't you? Let's talk about who you really are. You'll say it's about work, payload, torque, ground clearance. Right, because nothing says job site like a spotless Z71 waiting in a Starbucks drive-thru. Be honest. Most weeks, your heaviest haul is a Costco run and a stack of folding chairs for Little League. And that's fine. The Silverado isn't just a tool, it's armor. When you climb in, the cabin becomes a cockpit. The world gets smaller, problems get quieter, other drivers get shorter. You love that feeling of looking over a sea of roofs and knowing, without a word, that people must make space for you. You call it capability, everyone else reads it as confidence. Silverado people live for rivalry. If a Ford pulls up, you feel your pulse tick up like a tack. You glance, nod, and think, "Nice truck. Too bad it isn't a Chevy." You don't just drive, you keep score. Your group chat is a rolling debate about transmissions, frames, and whose tailgate fails first. Admit it, you've rehearsed comebacks. Aluminum? Cute. Cylinder deactivation? Enjoy the lifters. The rivalry is oxygen. It makes the ordinary drive feel like game day. But here's the secret. Without the enemy, your identity fades. Rivalry is the mirror that keeps your edges sharp. When Ford fans flex sales numbers, you flex heritage. When Ram folks brag interiors, you say, "Yeah, but will it last?" You tell yourself Chevy is the balanced pick. Muscle without drama, brawn with manners. The truth? You bought personality as much as platform. That squared-off stance, the bold grille, the stubborn jawline of a truck that looks like it refuses bad ideas. You wanted a shape that says, "I won't be pushed." At the tailgate, your Silverado is not transportation, it's stage design. Coolers go in the bed like props, chairs angle for the best view of your paint. People ask specs before they ask your name. And you like it that way. Without the truck, you're another neighbor in a cap and sunglasses. With it, you're the guy who brought the generator, the griddle, and the confidence. You provide shade, ice, jumper cables, and opinions. You are logistics with leather upholstery. Let's be honest about freedom. You love saying, "I could tow a boat across the state tomorrow." But most days, you tow stress from email to errand and back again. The miles are suburban, the payload is mental. The Silverado is where you exhale, where the seat remembers you even when people don't. The door thunks shut and the day obeys. That's not horsepower, that's headspace. Does the truck work? Sometimes. Home Depot loads, neighbor rescues, a buddy's moving day that turned into your whole weekend. You like that people call you first because you have the bed and the backbone to show up. You're dependable, and the truck is your business card. But you also know the math. Payments don't care about pride. Gas stings, tires cost, insurance smiles. Still, when you drop it into drive, it justifies itself. Presence has a price, and you've decided it's worth paying. Now the part that pinches. You didn't just buy a Silverado, you bought permission to be noticed. Every chrome edge is a highlighter. Every cold start at dawn is a declaration. You want the world to read you as capable, steady, tough. You want sons to copy you and strangers to assume you can lift the heavy thing. And if someone dares say Ford is better, your grin gets sharper. The debate isn't about facts, it's about identity. The badge on your grill is a boundary line, and you patrol it with pride. But you're not alone. Every car tells on its driver. Prius whispers virtue, Tesla shouts future, Wrangler yells adventure from the Whole Foods parking lot, and a Civic hums practical like a mantra. Your Chevy sings another hymn, I won't disappear. That's why you wax it when no one's watching. That's why you park far away to keep it pristine, then look back twice as you walk in. You pretend it's paranoia. It's affection. Drop the toughest thing you've hauled in the comments. Lumber? A camper? An entire family's weekend expectation? What about the pettiest? One bag of soil taking up a king-size bed. Be honest. And while you're there, hit subscribe. Next episode, we roast Ford, then Ram, then the guy who insists his midsize can tow the moon. Nobody's safe. Here's the core truth. You're proud, you're stubborn, and you like proof. You like data sheets, dyno charts, and the simple satisfaction of steel. You believe in fixing things before replacing them, in tightening bolts before blaming fate. You trust a frame you can see and work you can feel. You're not allergic to comfort. You'll take heated seats, thanks. But you prefer competence to glitter. That's the Silverado psychology. Confident enough to fight, calm enough to finish. So who are you really? The person who shows up. The friend people call. The neighbor who actually owns ratchet straps and knows how to use them. The rival who keeps the jokes sharp but the beer cold. The driver who doesn't need to pass everyone, just everything necessary. And deep down, yeah, the human who fears invisibility more than scratches. The road forgets quiet cars. It remembers trucks that look like decisions. If you feel seen right now, tap the like. If you're furious, prove me wrong below. Tell me what your Chevy has actually done this year, and not just on Instagram. Give me your towing confessions, your payload sins, your "I almost bought a Ford" stories. I'll pen the best ones. And if you're still here, you might as well subscribe, because next week I'm comparing your Silverado's personality to your playlist, and it's going to get personal. Final thought. You didn't pick the crowd favorite. You picked the counterpunch. That's brave. Or stubborn. Or both. Either way, it's a choice that says something loud every morning. Roll out. Key in. Shoulders back. Roads make room. People look up. And for a few honest miles, the person you wanted to be and the person you are share the same seat. That feeling? That's why you drive a Chevy. And because I know you, let me guess your build. Z71 or Trail Boss if you want the stance. LT because it feels like the smart money. Maybe High Country if you wanted to flex without saying a word. Chrome Delete? Only if the dealer threw it in. You've read forums at 1 a.m. about lifters, AFM, DFM, steel versus aluminum, 10-speed behavior on grades, and whether that multi-flex tailgate is genius or gimmick. You've watched comparison videos you swear you don't care about, then quoted them to a stranger anyway. You've said, "Chevy runs deep" with a straight face, and immediately looked around to see who heard it. On road trips, you set your elbow on the sill like a sheriff. In the rain, you feel invincible. When gas jumps, you complain loudly, then smile twice as wide when a kid points at your truck from the back seat of a minivan. The attention is half the fuel. You know the rituals: winter start, breath cloud, seat warmers on, V8 rumble like coffee, summer wash at sunset, hose arcs, water beads, neighbor envy. You park far from carts, angle the nose, take a photo, you pretend it's about the sky. You tell yourself the payment builds character. Maybe it does. You learned torque specs, bought a torque wrench, and finally used those ratchet straps correctly. You carry work gloves that barely touch work, but they mean something every time you open the door. And before the comments light up, yes, some of you tow real weight, drag real trailers, and pull strangers.